In the words of D Green, no, not Saweetie, not Saweetie. The allegations are wild. All right, they're saying some crazy things about this woman. All right, this video is by Blackie Speaks. It's your boy dwayzeonblaze. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go.
I want to talk about this recent story involving rapper Saweetie getting exposed by her former road manager, who basically accused her of moving like an escort.
Wow.
I'm sure a lot of people recognize the name, or at least the face. Saweetie got it popping back in 2017 with her breakout song Icy Girl. After that, she had a few big hits and a very public relationship with the rapper Quavo. But even though her music pushed her to the top, a lot of the conversations around her career has always been about her image, her relationships, and whether the fame was built on more than just the music. Now let's get into this particular story. A few days ago, a woman who goes by the name of Maybach May, who claimed to be Saweetie's former road manager, went viral after posting a series of social media posts accusing Saweetie of exploiting her current boyfriend, which is footballer Jadon Sancho, for money.
Maybach may sound like a scammer name. I won't even lie to you.
Basically, she claimed that she was the one who arranged Saweetie's trip to London, where she met Jadon. Some of y'all might recognize the name or face. Jadon Sancho is a very famous 25-year-old English footballer, or soccer player like Americans would say, who plays for Aston Villa in the Premier League. Saweetie and Jadon first linked up back in January 2025 following her visit to Chelsea FC's home stadium, Stamford Bridge, back when Jadon was playing there for one season on a loan. That trip ended up being a turning point because, according to Saweetie's former road manager, that's where the story started. Now, Miss Maybach May put up
So this was promo? What was this, bruv? Like, wait.
A few posts, but the most prominent one was a screenshot of what she claimed was a text conversation between her and Saweetie. And in those messages, Saweetie was allegedly making an inquiry about Jadon Sancho, basically asking, you know, how much money could I run up if I ended up getting with this guy? And that was one of the most talked about parts of these allegations.
Scammery.
This text that the ex-manager claimed came from Saweetie herself. And the message said, when bitches run it up on Jadon, how much they doing in a weekend. So that line alone had people online losing their minds because
imagine they got you looking like a simp like that. Like, how much money can we run up on dude? He's soft. We can get a bag off him. Bro, I'll never want to be that type of dude, bro.
If that text is real, it sounds like she's asking, you know, how much are other women making off of him, almost like she's comparing rates. And that's what made this whole situation spiral, because it doesn't just sound messy, it sounds very transactional. And this is important because this is not the first time Saweetie has been accused of this type of thing.
Didn't I tell you guys, these days relationships are just transactional. There's lighter cases of this even with people who are not celebrities and famous. This is how relationships generally are. It's transactional.
Over the years, there's been quiet talk, rumors, gossip, whatever you want to call it, through the grapevine about her using relationships as a business move. Now, this is kind of when it starts getting into the territory where people begin throwing around words like selling the pum pum or escorting, which basically...
But I feel like smart women do use their relationships to elevate themselves. Like, that is a smart thing as a woman to do. I'm sorry. Like, it is. It might be cruel, harsh, but it is smart.
Is a very serious accusation. Some of y'all might remember how back in 2022, a little over a year after her breakup with Quavo, he seemingly called her out on the song Messy with the late Takeoff. Rest in peace to Takeoff. On that record, he said, BITCH, after my dog behind my back, but I ain't stressing. And at the time, everybody knew who the dog was rumored to be. It was Offset. And that lyric right there came right after online rumors started spreading online that Saweetie and Offset had hooked up behind Quavo's back, which allegedly is what started the beef between the two members of the Migos, who are the only two ones left. Saweetie never confirmed it, neither did Offset. However, Offset did years later, recently actually, he denied that. But that moment definitely changed how a lot of people started looking at Saweetie. So now with these new allegations from her former road manager, people are revisiting that old situation, not because the stories are, you know, the same, but because they both paint a picture of how Saweetie moves when it comes to men with status and power, right? Now her former road manager put up a few other posts, and one of them...
She forgot the Maybach music chain, bro. Whoa, is this Rick Ross's like assistant? Like, who is this, bro? Why she got the Maybach music? I guess that is the normal Maybach logo, but still, that's giving MMG, bruv.
Most notable ones is where she referred to Jadon Sancho as a client. I want to make one thing clear. I booked her for an appearance to visit the Chelsea stadium and support the soccer team. Instead of paying me, she fell in love with the client and told him not to pay me. I was a road manager with her, getting her deals. I was solid to this girl. She got what she wanted and never paid me. Simple. I want my money. Interesting. She claimed she was actually the one who arranged for Saweetie and Jaden to link up, but according to her, things didn't go as planned. And in reality, at least based on what the road manager is saying, the whole plan was for Saweetie to get together with Jaden and he would trick on her, okay? Meaning he'd spend money on her, buy gifts, fly her out, take care of her financially in exchange for her time and attention.
Bro, gents are just tricking nowadays. Rich dudes, rich bros are just splashing the bag everywhere, bro. They don't even care anymore, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Basically, paying for the pum pum, right? But instead of keeping a business, Saweetie allegedly, fell in love with a guy, and that's what Miss Maybach is claiming. So that's when, this whole story turned from just messy into something way more serious. I'll tell a joke, but I ain't never told a lie. I sent you to Dubai because you never balled before. I was depressed looking for a happy life. Took you to London, babes. Took you to Nigeria. Booked you on an Australian tour.
I took you to Niger, oh? You ungrateful, oh?
I helped this girl so much, only for her to play with my money at the end. I'm just missing my payment money from London. Pay up before I start naming the rest of the husbands you was playing with. And her beef with Saweetie is basically that Saweetie didn't pay her for these services, okay? Like 50 cents, she wanted her goddamn money. Now, some people might call that matchmaking or management, but depending on how you look at it, if what this woman
that's high-end escorting. Let's just call it what it is, bruv.
is saying is actually true, that starts crossing into something way darker, because what she's describing sounds a lot like what they call procure. Because what she's describing sounds a lot like procuring, which by definition is when someone arranges or facilitates sexual
that's escorting, bruv. That's not procuring, bruv. Escort
encounters for money in. In illegal terms, that's literally what's known as pimping or being a madame, which falls under sex trafficking laws in the United States and most other countries. So if, and that's a big if, what she's claiming actually happened, that wouldn't just be messy, that would be a crime. But again, these are just allegations. None of this has been confirmed, and Saweetie hasn't, publicly spoken about this. And I just don't know how smart it is for the ex-manager to even put this out there publicly for a few reasons. Number one, I don't know if this is how she makes her money, but if it is, this move could seriously hurt her business, because anyone with money or status is going to look at this and think, yeah, I'm not working with someone who's exposing private stuff like that. And number two, if there's even a little truth to what she's saying, she might have actually put herself in danger, because when you start talking about flying people around for things like that, it can get the authorities involved real quick. I mean, that's not just drama anymore. That's the kind of thing that can turn into a real investigation. So honestly, she might have exposed herself too while trying to expose Saweetie, because if this ever gets to the point where
Maybach music a G. She don't give a fuck. Okay? She pimping, bruv. That's a real pimp.
FBI, whoever starts, looking into it, Saweetie could easily flip it into, she could say that, hey, I was being extorted, or, the manager was the one who was trying to set her up. And just like that, Saweetie gets the get out of jail free card, right? But that's beside the point. This type of thing isn't very rare in the entertainment world. Obviously, none of this is confirmed. These are all allegations, and that's exactly how we're labeling it for now, the Saweetie allegations. But let's be real, a lot of this kind of stuff goes on behind the scenes, right? And it's just that most of the time, it never goes to the public. Whether it's certain Instagram models or bottle girls, influencers.
I feel like you just have to open your eyes and you'll see it all around you. It's not even like it doesn't go to the public, bro. It's happening. You just gotta open your eyes, bruv.
Connected to the entertainment space, it's a whole different ball game, because what happens is you start mixing money, fame, and access. That's where the lines get blurry. Now, whatever you want to say about Saweetie, go ahead, but the truth is, she got money. She's a millionaire. She's not broke. She got money, but that doesn't automatically mean someone can get caught up in a situation like this, because the truth is, a lot of women who move in these circles, they might have money, but at the same time, they just don't have that kind of money, right? Like, just to give you an idea, Jaden Sancho, the young man.
It's not even about that kind of money. It's greed, bruh. It's greed, bruh. I'm pretty sure Saweetie has a few mil, at least, in her bank account. But no, that's not enough, bro. Everybody want the bag. Everybody want to be the biggest boss in the room, bruh. So they do things like this.
Talked about who's 25, who plays in the Premier League. He's reportedly making 300,000 British pounds a week. That's almost 400,000 US dollars every single week. So rapper money is very different from athlete, but specifically Premier League money, clearly. So when you're in those circles, when that kind of money is floating around, it's a different ballgame, right? And they don't just deal with random women on the street. They go through people, connections, introductions, recommendations, okay, from inside their little world. So when you see a woman with some kind of, popularity, and I'm not specifically saying Saweetie here, but when you see them with these types of women, these types of guys, they don't just pay for, sex. They're also paying for the drama-free experience that comes with it. They know that if they mess with another woman who doesn't have anything to lose, who isn't established or doesn't have her own name, that can get messy fast.
That's true.
But if the woman already has some kind of platform, status, or reputation, it feels safer to them, right?
Yeah, that's why I want to say that is one of the main things why guys pay for these type of high-end escort services, because at the end of the day, it comes with no drama. It comes with no stress, bro. Like, a lot of these women these days are coming with, oh, I'm Miss Independent, I'm Miss this, that. They're coming with a lot, bruv. Unfortunately, not all of you. Some of you are angels. It's just that I can't find you. I don't know where you guys hide. I only see the loud mouths wherever I go. The ratchet, crazy ones. You know what I'm saying? But I just say that to say at the end of the day, bro, like, bro, it's just easier. It's stress-free. There's no back and forth. There's no feeling like, okay, I'm going to expose you now. It's all just quick, to the point. I pay you. I get what I want, and we keep it pushing. You know what I mean? But then when it comes to modern day relationships, hey, bro, look at what happened to young Philly, bro. Look what they did to Philly. Look what they're doing to a lot of men, bro, with status and power. It just takes one woman to bring the whole empire down, bro. So you'd rather say, hey, you know what, let me just go the escort route, because at least that's safer. It's safer for my life, my legacy, my career. Even though it's quote unquote not normal or whatever. I don't know how you put it, but it's easier.
She understands discretion. She understands the game, and she's not about to risk everything for attention. That's the mindset a lot of these ultra wealthy guys have. So it's not always about just attraction. It's about control, privacy, and keeping their world clean from unnecessary problems.
Exactly.
I mean, we're talking about wealthy CEOs,
Goodbye, sir.
Executives, entrepreneurs, obviously athletes and musicians and stuff like that. And most of the time, these men already have like a main woman or a wife or a long-term partner who's already aware of how things work. So when they do have someone on the side, that's an arrangement, okay? They know that they can just mess around with anyone, because one bird-ass bitch can fuck up the whole operation.
That's the thing,
and that's
bruv.
why a lot of this stuff goes on very quietly through people they trust, introductions, recommendations, circles, where everybody already knows the rules, like I said. So that gets into...
Yeah, because I used to look at it like it was crazy. But then I realized, bro, it's the trust element. It's the, bro, I have a whole empire that somebody could bring down to the ground. Let me at least mess with these scallywags that I can trust and that are recommended and that are through my plugs and my sources that are confirmed, that they're legit, they're okay to mess with. Then you just get some chick at the club. Yo, she could ruin everything, bruh. Some chick from like Bramley somewhere, dude. Like
a whole different conversation, one I'm actually working on for a separate video. But back to Saweetie. Now it's being alleged that she had multiple trips booked and arranged by this former road manager.
Maybach.
The manager claims that they're flying out to all kinds of destinations.
Now, Maybach, you gotta come manage me. Although I don't want to be giving my bums out, bruh. Like, you just seem to know where the money is, but don't sell my bums though, Maybach, please, yo.
Europe, Africa, Australia with the kangaroos and shit, you name it. And according to her,
Nigeria.
those weren't just regular work trips. She's claiming there was a whole other purpose behind them.
She was messing with the Niger boys. Yo, I wonder what they did to Saweetie, bro.
If true, would completely change how people look at Saweetie's public image, because even though these kinds of rumors have been echoing around the industry for years, Saweetie's always tried to play on a certain image, which is like the classy, feminine, and business savvy look, right? Or classy, I would say early on.
Classy? That's my type. That's my type. Sounds ratchet to me.
Later on, she just said fuck it, right? So the Icy Girl brand that she built early on, it was about luxury, confidence, and independence. But at the same time, the way she's moved outside of that brand has often been the complete opposite. Like a few years ago, she went viral due to this Instagram live she put up where she was telling women, if he's not buying you a Birkin bag or paying your bills, throw that nigga back to the streets.
You see, that's already escort behavior. If he's not buying your Birkin, throw him away. Like, so. You keep guys who are buying you Birkins. And why? And guys, why are we buying women Birkins? You know why you buying her a Birkin. Exactly. So, Saweetie.
If he's not getting you a Birkin, if he's not paying for your bills, then throw that nigga back to the streets, okay?
Coincidentally enough, she dropped a song right before that moment called Back to the Streets. So a lot of people started feeling like the whole thing was just marketing, which it was, where she was playing into that same image in order to sell the music. And the issue with that is pretty obvious.
I
You're
thought that was
selling
Tyler.
women in your audience this fantasy that if a man isn't buying you a designer bag, which is worthless, or paying your bills, he's not worth your time. Which, in other words, you're basically saying this pum pum can be bought.
This is why women be using men these days, bro. They just want you to pay for things for them. If you're not paying, they don't want to talk, bro. It's like you have to make sure she in love these days for her to talk to you, bro. Because 90% of women, bro, they're looking for a way to get the bag from
For this
you.
particular story, again, these are just allegations. Saweetie hasn't responded to anything, but it's the kind of claim that sticks, especially when it feeds into an image people have already questioned. And the conversation that's been coming up about Saweetie for a while now is how much she's actually benefited from what people call pretty privilege, which in other words means the idea that her looks opened the door for her.
Yeah, but everybody has their strengths, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, pretty privilege is not a talent, of course, but it is a strength. And sometimes you just gotta use your strengths to get to the top, bruv. It is what it is. That's what this world is about, bruv. I ain't gonna lie.
That she's been rewarded for being attractive more than her actual talent. But recently, she actually flipped the whole conversation on its head, and she went viral for it. During a recent interview, Saweetie actually talked about something she called pretty punishment. In her words, people have seen that she's gorgeous, she's getting money, you know, she's getting bags, she's always in a spotlight. But what they don't see is how many doors were slammed in her face, how many times she's been counted out or underestimated because of her appearance.
Bruh, everybody is underestimated, bruh. I feel like there's reasons why a lot of people are underestimated. So for her to say that, bruh, it's nonsense, bro. She's just egotistical, bro. Straight up.
And this is according to her, right? This is her perspective. Saweetie said they talk about pretty privilege, but they don't talk about pretty punishment. And what she meant by that is that being pretty comes with a different kind of bias. People project on you, they assume things, and sometimes they even root against you out of animosity or hidden agendas. And Saweetie said that this is something that she's dealt with her entire life.
Feel like the industry has tried to count you out? Like,
Since I started.
talk about it, man. Because I think people, look, to be honest, people see you're gorgeous. You're getting endless bags.
Endless bags. From where? From Niger or Jollof or?
You are, listen, that girl. I don't think they understand how many doors, how many rejections, how many times people have counted you out.
I saw it on TikTok. They were like, they talk about pretty privilege, but they don't talk about pretty punishment.
Oh, you saw it on TikTok, eh? That's where you get your information, your knowledge, your insights. Interesting.
There's been so many times I've just been counted out, and I know that it's behind animosity. I know it's because of a hidden agenda, but it makes me work harder. But this has happened like my whole life. So it's like what I deal with in the industry is just different face, same case.
Oof.
Bars. Oof. Different face, same case. Oof.
After that clip went viral, Saweetie got a lot of backlash online, but she pushed back, saying the media twisted her words and misrepresented her point. On X, formerly known as Twitter, she said the conversation wasn't about bragging or complaining. It was about microaggressions, hidden agendas, and what it's really like to move through the industry as a woman who's constantly being judged for her looks. And
You know, I just don't appreciate the fact that Elon Musk actually changed the name of Twitter to X, bro. Because now we all say this. Oh, Twitter, formerly known as X. I mean, X, formerly known as Twitter. It's like, guys, let's just call it X, bro. It's over, bro. Twitter's gone, bro. It's X now, bro.
clarified that she's grateful and she's happy for her success. You know, glory to God, I believe she said.
Amen.
But the pressure, bias, and judgment is real. And she ended it by saying she's not phased and that she'll keep going because she has a vision, right? So
Saweetie has to have a BBL, bruv, because ain't no way, bruv. Like, the bums look too big for the thighs.
yeah, she framed the whole pretty privilege narrative into something deeper. And whether you agree or not, it's definitely got people talking, right? Now, I don't know exactly where Saweetie stands after these allegations. We haven't heard her side. And everything that's come
Well,
up
this was a stupid meal. But shout out to Saweetie. At least she was getting that McDonald's bag.
so far is still just claims. But what we do know is that this whole conversation opens up a much bigger door because it's way more common than people think. And it got me thinking.
And McDonald's, wait. McDonald's, stop being lazy, bruv. Stop being flippin' lazy. You keep endorsing these people and then just putting like a chicken burger with some fries with like a McFlurry and then calling it somebody's meal. It's like, bro, can you actually make a different burger? Can you do like different fries or something when you collaborate with these people? Stop just combinating a different combo and then be like, oh, that's the Saweetie meal. Combo this way. Oh, that's the Travis meal. Okay, McFeast with a flippin' nugget. Oh, that's the Bad Bunny meal. Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Something else, which is if Saweetie, someone with money, fame, and a career, and a very strong brand, is allegedly moving this way. Imagine what's going on with the industry women who don't have any of that. Imagine what a lot of these
Imagine what's happening with Meg, bruh. I'm just saying, imagine. Please, Rock Nation, I'm just saying, imagine. Hypothetically.
models are doing behind the scenes, like not the established ones, the ones who are trying to get it popping just now. The ones who are flying out to all these different places like it's nothing. Amsterdam to Bali to Oslo. Next day she's all up
Turks
in New
and
York.
Caicos.
And then back to Bali, like, bitch, how the fuck you do that shit? Posting this luxurious lifestyle, but they don't have a consistent stream of income. And a lot of them are just doing what they can to keep up with the image, to survive, to maintain a lifestyle, or to chase that next opportunity.
Why she keep clapping like that?
Usually comes in the form of a man with money who they're using as a come up. I think these allegations are pretty well.
Okay, well, we've got to the end of the video pretty much. Shout out to Blackie Speaks. And yeah, man, at the end of the day, pretty privilege, bro. It's more of a thing than pretty punishment, okay? I can guarantee you that way more people are succeeding from pretty privilege than people are failing from pretty punishment. Okay, sweetie? So your argument is just out the door. And at the end of the day, if you're escorting and doing all that, girl, you know what? Do your thing. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? What you do has nothing to do with me. What you eat don't make me shit. Alright? You ain't putting the coochie on me. So why am I concerned about what you're doing with your life, sweetie? You do what you want to do. If you want to mess with the Niger boys, go mess with the Niger boys. Okay? If you want to go bowling in Dubai, you know, get dumped on in Dubai, that's on you, Saweetie. It's got nothing to do with me. That's between you and Quavo and all those other people that you mess with. So, to be honest, I'm not phased. It's 2025, bruv. Like, it's 2025, dog. Like, these hunts been wilding for a long time now, bro. Since OnlyFans, that's when I checked out and I just stopped caring. I'm just like, bro, if she's selling her body for $5, some of these hunts are even selling for free on OnlyFans. That's what I'm just like, bro, what has life come to, bruv? Like, what is going on, dude? You know? So, my thing is like, hey, man, woman empowerment, right? You do your thing, girl. You get your bag, girl. Pop that pussy. All right? Do what you want. You know what I'm saying? Who am I? As a man, I'm not going to, you know, red pill it. I'm going to let her be independent and do what she wants to do. I'm not going to name and shame. She wants to date people for money. That's her prerogative. Okay? Nothing to do with me. Please. Alright? I'm just a spectator to all this madness going on. That's all I am. Alright? I love y'all, alright? Okay, goodbye, okay?